won game one, 118 to 109. Big takeaway for me from game one was our guy, Pascual Siakam, with 32 points in the first game. I knew there was no doubt in my mind Golden State would bounce back in game two. Siakam was, I won't say shut down, but not nearly the factor that he was in the first game. So the Warriors were able to come back and tie this thing up at a game apiece. Things went back to Oakland. Of course, we had the hamstring injury with Klay Thompson.
Yep.
Kevin Durant has not played a game at all since he got injured against the Houston Rockets. And then you also had Looney, who has a cracked muscle in his chest, or cracked bone, in his chest, who is supposed to be out for the whole series.
Not anymore.
Big takeaway for me for game two was Boogie Cousins. Boogie Cousins was a big factor in game two, rebounding, passing the ball, shooting, showing you all the reasons why he's one of the better big men in the NBA and one of the elite players in the league. Game three, he just seemed to me like he was exhausted, man. It was Steph Curry versus the world. I mean, I want to say 47 points, 7 assists or 9 assists and 7 boards for Steph Curry in game three. Was not enough. The Raptors were able to pull that out and take the game, and obviously that gave them the 2-1 lead. Again, you saw a good solid game from Pascual Siakam in game three, and then you also had a good solid bounce back game from Marc Gasol, who I thought played really well in game one, but kind of got shut down a little bit in my opinion in the second game. So that's kind of my takeaway of those first couple of games. Who are some of the players, some of the trends you've noticed so far in the finals, Pat?
I mean, obviously, like you said, Siakam, like what he's been able to do on the block, what he's been able to do in transition, has really, really lifted that team, especially in game one. You know, in game one, he really took it over. They shot well, and Kawhi's had some decent games.
30 points, 7 rebounds, and
right?
6 assists.
No. The third game is his best game, obviously, the finals.
Yeah, by far.
So
he doesn't seem very injured anymore either.
The thing about that is it looks like the Warriors are content with shutting him down and making everyone else. Basically, it's the same exact thing. The Warriors are content with shutting down Kawhi and making everyone else hit their shots. The Raptors are content right now with trying to shut down Curry, which clearly has not happened. I mean, we're talking about 47 points in Game 3. We're talking about 23 points in Game 2 and 34 points with an average total of 34.7 points in this series already.
Unbelievable shooting from Steph Curry.
Oh, my gosh.
Unbelievable shooting.
I mean, that last game, he literally put the team on his back with 47 points. He's the second player in NBA history to lose with 47 or more points in a game in the finals. The other one, I believe, was 2018, LeBron James with 52 points.
The J.R. Smith game. That meme, that photo will live on in infamy of LeBron James. We had a timeout.
Right.
And J.R. Smith worrying about where the Hennessy's at after the game.
But I think the biggest thing for me in Game 2 was the Raptors looked like they had it. It looked like it was going to be 2 games in a row at home. And the Warriors come out in the third quarter with a 18 or 19 to nothing run and just never looked back. You know, it got close. I think it was down to like 3 or 4 points, and Iguodala hit that 3-pointer late in the fourth quarter, which, if you go back to that last 2-minute thing, they said that Steph Curry traveled.
Yeah. I hate the 2-minute report.
And I didn't see it because I didn't have a chance to look it up, but I wanted to see Game 3 because if you watch Game 3, I believe it was Van Fleet when he hit that 3 towards the end of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, the rainbow that was in the air for 45 minutes.
But if you watch Kawhi, it sure as heck to me looked like Kawhi lifted his foot up right before, and landed on the other foot right before he passed it, which would be clearly another travel as well. So I mean, you got one, we got one, so it evens out. But another thing about Kawhi is Kawhi just can't miss from the free throw line, man. I mean, I think he's only missed 2 shots.
Yeah. Him and Steph Curry are the worst people to foul because they're not.
Oh my gosh,
they're gonna make you pay.
Exactly. So, Game 3 though was where I said it before. If the Raptors are going to win, we know what's got to happen, right?
Yeah.
We know what's got to happen. What's got to happen? Somebody else has got to have one of those amazing games. Well, guess what? That was Danny Green, with 18 points, all from the 3-point line, 6 for 10 from the 3-point line. I mean, he was hitting big shot after big shot. The one shot that he hit, I don't even know how he got it off, one. And two, he was like floating this way and like leaning this way and like just flung it up.
Kid's a shooter, man. Don't forget that game against the Miami Heat played for the Spurs. He was on fire from 3-point range.
Exactly.
That's what reminded me of
That's
game
my
3.
point. That's my point. They brought in that veteran guy, the guy that's been to the finals before, the guy that's been there and done it in the finals before.
Championship. He's a winner.
And that's why you bring in those guys. That's why, I mean, he came in with Kawhi too, remember?
He was a throw-in.
He was a
yeah,
throw-in.
by the way, they got Danny Green too.
Right.
Oh, whatever.
Can I hey, guess what? When Cleveland won, or not Cleveland, I'm sorry, Miami, when they won in Miami with LeBron, who was one of the stars? Mike Miller?
Yep.
Who was Mike Miller? We don't know.
Mario Chambers won the
right, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Guys that just in the finals can just light it up behind the 3-point line. And we know it. I mean, obviously we know with Clay, with Steph, even with Iguodala, the way Iguodala's been shooting a 3-pointer, he's been doing really well with a 3-pointer as well. We know what the Warriors have, but what can the Raptors do? Like, tonight's game 4, they got a chance to put a chokehold on this series.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no, man.
Oh my goodness. If they win 2 at home, hey, guess what?
On the road.
Or 2 at home,
yeah.
or I'm sorry, 2 on the road.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, 2 in Golden State. Like, that just...
Yeah.
Whoa.
If we need to get a camera on the podcast. We're going to do that. Next year, we're going to have video. The smile on this guy's face when he said that. You got to remember, though, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson combined for 49 points when they played together in Game 2. But how healthy is Klay Thompson? That's the biggest takeaway from this finals is injuries and the Raptors having to take advantage of that stuff. No Klay Thompson, no Kevin Durant. We know Andre Iguodala's not 100%. I have to wonder, if I'm the Raptors tonight, I'm running Klay Thompson off of screen after screen after screen early in this game to test the hamstring to see if he really is healthy or if he's just talking the talk. I mean, this is a guy that before he missed that last game, he had played in 120 straight playoff games, Klay Thompson. So he's definitely an Iron Man, but I want to see what he's made of today. I'm putting Kawhi in ISO. Let's get him moving around, and let's see if we can't either re-injure it. No offense, you got to take the advantage. You got the advantage, man.
Oh my gosh,
they would do the same thing to you if the roles were reversed. But this is a big game for both teams. But my heart, as a Golden State Warrior hater, says the Raptors will win. But my gut says the Warriors are about to blow these guys out tonight.
I think it's going to be a closer game than that, just because of the caliber of the teams that are in the finals this year. I mean, they don't seem like they're going to blow either team out.
Yeah, but the Warriors are pissed. They're pissed off. Any team, any championship caliber team that's pissed.
Oh yeah.
The next game, they usually take it out.
When they got their back against the wall,
exactly.
right?
Exactly.
They come out fighting. The biggest thing I think for me in Game 3, it wasn't the scoring from Klay Thompson. It was the defense. It was his mindset on the defensive end. How he was just able to be in the right spot at the right time every single time in Game 1 and 2. I mean, Klay Thompson's defense, I won't say, he's definitely not underrated. I'm not going to say he's underrated. But the fact that he didn't make one of the All-NBA teams, I mean, he's garbage. I mean, he's that good.
Yep.
I mean, not only can he shoot, not only can he shoot, rebound, play defense. I mean, what can't he do? You know?
And he always seems to be the guy. I know that Kevin Durant and Curry get on the headlines, but whenever the Warriors need a big shot, or people like us are having podcasts and saying, they're down and out, this is where the dynasty ends, Klay goes off.
Yeah, Klay hits 37 points in a quarter.
They're having a bad shooting slump, and Klay hits 5 in a row to get them right back in the game. It's always Klay Thompson.
Yeah, and again, another thing that I mentioned is, it was Looney, right, that it was hurt. They said he still may come back at some point in this series now.
Yep.
Rebounding is a big reason. Rebounding and defense. I mean, in that last game alone, and man, some of those chase down blocks.
Oh, Danny Green had a LeBron-esque block off the glass from Danny Green.
There was a couple of them.
And Ibaka, too, had a couple of them.
Ibaka and Danny. Ibaka had 6 of the 10. They had 10 blocks. Ibaka had 6.
You almost have forgot.
Right. What were they called? Iblaka.
Yeah.
He said Iblaka. I was like, okay. Now we're just clowning, but okay. But yeah, no, seriously, like, that whole the defense that Toronto turned around and played that last game, they were able to do that because also there was no Klay Thompson, so they could focus a little bit better.
Yep.
And also another thing is when you're missing a guy like Thompson, all your other guys got to take on different roles. Draymond Green is a glue guy. Draymond Green is a guy that gets rebounds, plays defense, blocks. He'll make a
pushes
few
the pace,
pushes
like,
pushes the pace.
He gets the rebound. He is
in
gone,
in transition. Oh my gosh! And he makes the
man.
right play. He makes the right pass. Well, here's the thing: Draymond Green had to take on that scoring role that Klay Thompson left.
Yeah, for game 3,
and that's not Draymond Green's game. So he had to take away from what makes him good and the player that he is, and one of the best all-around players to me in the NBA with what the skills that he has. Like I said, the way he plays defense, he gets blocks, steals, emotional leader.
Love him or hate him, he's an emotional leader. That's
right. I mean, what did he have? Almost three triple doubles straight in the NBA in the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
So and him and Curry were the first players to have triple doubles in the same game in a playoff series. So I mean, we know what he means to that team. And who knows? Maybe Cousins can come back.
He just looked really.
He
looked really gassed in Game 3. It almost made me feel like you would have thought they played back to back. She's really lethargic. Wasn't really all there.
Yeah,
like physically. I mean,
no. And like I said, they need him. Which you already said. Game 2, he was one of the reasons why they were able to do what they were doing. In Game 3, he just didn't have it. He was missing shots. He was airballing 3-pointers.
He looked bad. I mean, Game 2, what do you have? Game 2, he had 11 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. Just a lot of and those assists were all really good, like in half court, in transition. And another big factor, too, is so far, in my opinion, the Toronto Raptors bench just wiped the floor with Golden State's bench. I mean, besides Quinn Cook, who always comes to play, and a couple of good plays here and there from Alfonso McKinney, it's been the Toronto Raptors bench which just outplayed Golden State. And man, Jerebko, every time he comes out there, it's just brick after brick after brick. He's got to figure out a way to be better. I mean, this is a guy that in Game 2 shot 1 for 4 for Golden State. And not that he was a high-scoring guy off the bench, but he was a guy that when he came in and got opportunities to score and make plays, he did that. And he just hasn't been doing that at all so far in the NBA Finals. So for me, the bench play has been a factor. We talked about Van Fleet, who's been Powell coming off the bench, being a factor for the Raptors. Just the bench of Toronto outplaying Golden State's bench.
Yeah. I mean, clearly, what was it, 123 to 109? I don't think Golden State scored less than 109 since the first round of the playoffs this year. So, I mean, they're averaging like 106 points, 105 points a game for the playoffs. So the thing is, you got to score. You got to score. So you need Siakam, you need Leonard, and you need another guy. You need Van Fleet,
Gasol.
and Gasol. Oh my gosh,
Great Game 1, shut down somewhat in Game 2, and a nice little bounce back in Game 3. For
17 points, 7 rebounds. I mean, you got to love it. But Ibaka, man, Ibaka just came up. I mean, he didn't score a lot of points, but Ibaka was just, he had 5 rebounds, but he had 6 blocks. Kyle Lowry, you can't say enough about his defense.
The stupid fouls. He plays so good, then those dumb fouls just piss you off.
Oh yeah. Well, there's also a couple phantom fouls in that game as well.
The refs are horrible.
On that one where I forget who was it. No, it wasn't Klay Thompson. It was Steph Curry. I think went up for the layup, and Lowry was like right in front of him, and he just floated by him, and they blew the whistle. It was like, hold on, like he didn't even touch him.
Well, the biggest issue I had with the refs was the delay in the calls. Guys would shoot the ball, they miss it. It's almost a second bounce off the rim. Whistle. You're going to call a foul, man.
Right.
I mean, we want to let these guys play. We want the game decided in the court. I don't want the deciding factor or the star of the game to be a ref. I want it to be players.
I almost texted you in the middle of that game, too, because I was like, well, I guess we talked about the refs not wanting to be involved, and they heard us and decided they would let us know who was the boss, because it was just there was just so many. I'm like, why the heck are you? Some were dumb fouls, some were just dumb fouls by Lowry.
He needs to know, like he said, the press conference about he knows his platform being an NBA player. You got to know what you mean to your team and stop getting these dumb fouls, trying to steal the ball from Curry from behind, just being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
What was it, Game 1 that he fouled out of?
Yeah.
2? Yeah.
You can't do that, man. You're the leader of the team. You're one of the best, if not the best ball handlers they have. Come on, man.
But the way he takes those charges, though, I mean, it's impressive that a guy like that is able to see, the offensive player coming and just step in there and take those charges. So, my only qualms with the officials were, I believe it was either late third or fourth. I'm not sure. Late third or early fourth. But there was that scrimmage where Lowry. I think Lowry was, Steph Curry was on the ground, and Lowry jumped on top and was trying to tie him up, and Steph Curry was just throwing elbows, and they were like, foul on Lowry, and I was like, foul on what? Foul on what?
I know exactly.
And then there was that time where they had the jump ball,